The Fifth Doctor and co. have a mystery to solve. Back in March 2018, Serpent in the Silver Mask came out, and it was a wonderful main range story written by David Llewellyn.
I forgot how fun this story is. I remember it being flamboyant in parts with a certain member of the family.
Mm,
But Peter Davison gets to flex his comedy chops within it.
he really does. I mean, the whole cast do, really. It goes to some wacky places, but at the same time feels rather cold as well. Like it's got a darker edge to it, I
But
think, that
it
shouldn't be
also
understated.
it also feels wonderfully tacky and 80s with Argentia with this sort of tacky luxury place. You can imagine sort of
Yeah.
the 80s idea of being posh. And
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can picture the studio, what this would be in.
Mm. You can imagine those like slightly bigger sets from Fort Doomsday, that sort of
Yes.
style. Yeah, it's Argentia is like this little tax haven, slightly out of time, where the criminally rich come to flaunt their money, really. But there is a uh, death, a funeral to attend, where a large fortune is up for grabs. The will is read, and not everyone is happy with how it all plays out. And so, a murder happens. There's a man in a silver mask out killing people, and the doctor's got to solve the mystery before there's no one left.
With different links to different family members where the finger can be pointed. So it's a story that always keeps you on your toes, thinking, "Oh, it's definitely got to be that person," and then it turns out it's not.
Mm.
Um, it's
It,
so wonderfully crafted.
yeah, very much making use of the fact that it's sci-fi, which not many, whodunits are really. Uh, there's very much a flavor of whodunit, isn't there? And this doesn't quite fit the conventions of that, but at the same time, really does.
Yes.
It's just using the fact that it's Doctor Who that it can do something a little bit different. And so I really love it for that. It goes by so quickly. It's quite a short story. So you sort of look at that at first and think, am I getting my money's worth here? But it's quality over quantity.
And
You
it's
definitely are.
one thing I noticed, it mentions AI. And it's funny how AI has become quite a prevalent thing in recent times. This is, 2018. And it's funny to think that AI,
How
um,
quickly it's developed
yeah,
in the last year and a half,
like
really.
probably when I first listened to this, I probably didn't think much of it. But now, because it's become more prevalent, I'm like, wow, what a
It's like actually,
trendsetter.
yeah, it's actually something that affects our lives even more now. I mean, AI's pretty much always been there in sci-fi, but yeah, certainly in terms of the real world now. It's funny how quickly we just accept these things, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, back when this came out, that would have been wow, mind-blowing technology, and it was for about a day, and then we're sort of like, oh, that's something we could do now, and we just accepted it and moved on. It's amazing the human capacity to just get over things,
Hmm.
to just be very
Which
blasé about something that would seem incredible.
which is very much like certain family members in this, the Marcini family, played by Samuel West, Morbius
Yeah.
himself.
Mm. Yeah, he's playing quite a few different roles in this, but does them all so wonderfully. It's a bit like what we had with the Quinn dilemma.
Hmm.
You had one actor playing all five Quins. It's very much that same deal, really, here. But I feel like with this story, it makes really good use of it. And yeah, it certainly put Samuel West to the test and
Oh
gives him
yes,
some crazy things to do.
especially
One,
when you've got him flirting with Peter Davison and
mm,
then them dropping dead.
yeah, that's
Uh,
such a wonderful scene. Peter plays it so wonderfully as well. It's something that works very well with his Doctor in particular, I feel.
It
He's that much younger, almost new series style, but
see,
this is where you're reminded he is still very classic at the same time.
that's it's quite interesting because there's a line going, well, I've got a bit of old charm or something, which he wouldn't have said on telly,
Mm,
but because it's Big Finish, it doesn't really
it's
feel
away with
out. It doesn't feel out of character. Where I'd be like, oh, that's a bit much, but for this, it works so well, and I
these
don't mind.
characters have come a long way, and I think the actors have put a lot into that as well. Like you could just stick Peter Davison, Matthew Waterhouse, Sarah Sutton, and Janet Fielding together in a room, record it, and you come out with something entertaining, really.
Yeah, you get it
I
with
mean,
the
that's
collection
what you
sets.
do with the collection sets, yeah. I mean, you've got the car ride, haven't you, from
Yeah,
season
yeah, it was
20?
brilliant.
And I think part of that has infused into the characters a bit.
Yes, it feels like the
Like,
writers are writing for the people rather than the characters,
I
which is
wouldn't
not
say rather than the characters. I'd say it's just blended well
a.
together.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they're able to write for the characters in a way that, they come off better from it, but at the same time, you're not losing
The
who they were
authenticity.
originally. Yeah, you've got that bickering, that interplay, but there's also a bit of warmth there that perhaps was lacking on TV at times.
Mm,
Yeah. Which is just Big Finish all over, really, isn't it? It's
it
what they
is.
do. But I feel like it's understated with the Fifth Doctor. I think people so often jump to the Sixth Doctor or the Eighth Doctor for the ones that have come off very well from Big Finish. But I feel like it is understated how brilliant the Fifth Doctor is there, how much he and his companions have developed from their TV personas. I, I, I mean, we sort of gone
Yeah,
away from Serpent and the Silver Mask a bit, but it's the perfect
still
example
connected.
of that.
Yes,
Yeah. And I think this is a 9 out of 10.
I have to
Down
agree.
there.
I have to agree. I think this, when it first came out, when it was announced, it was one way you looked at the cover going, oh, it's got a bit of a shoddy cover. It doesn't look that great. You listen
It
to it.
fits very well, doesn't
Oh,
it?
it's
With
gaudy
what's
and
going
tacky and
for.
it's brilliant. It fits the
Mm.
story wonderfully, but it's one of those ones where don't judge a book by its cover because this story takes you on a roller coaster of camp. It's just a joy. I think it's a feel good audio.
Yeah. Definitely worth picking up. I can't recommend it enough.
No, and again, it's a joy of doing these throwbacks. It's a joy.
Yeah, I remember liking it. I mean, that's why I think when we knew we were getting a murder mystery for the Dream Team box set, this one came into mind and it just seemed like perfect to go back to. I remember enjoying it a lot. But I didn't think I enjoyed it this much.
Hmm.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
It's one where I didn't want to stop listening to it, which says a
Yeah, I
lot
know.
for a 2 hour story where you just want to
I mean,
bang
not
through
even
it.
2 hours.
Well,
Closer to
yeah,
probably closer to an hour and a half than 2 hours, I think. But like we say, it's quality over quantity with this one. And yeah, it definitely doesn't overstay its welcome.
so
It's
if
got some wonderful characters.
very memorable, I think it's casted brilliantly. Even sort of the detective character,
Oh,
um,
he's a wonderful character, Superintendent Galgo.
who we know from Fires of Pompeii, recognizable voice.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it just feels very distinct and well realized world. Um,
It makes very good use of its time. It's very time efficient, I would say.
yes,
Like, it doesn't feel like you're ever just sat around. Each scene has a purpose. And I think that's a credit to David Llewellyn, the writer here.
and it utilizes every aspect of this TARDIS team.
Mm.
No one's sidelined within it. The Doctor gets sidelined within it, but that leads to a great funny moment
It's deliberate and it's hilarious.
with
And
Bernard, the little
yeah,
robot. So I think it just is a perfect example of how this TARDIS team works.
yeah. I mean, like all good murder mysteries, there's some red herrings in there. there's just so much to love about it. Just go buy it if you haven't already, especially if it goes on sale anytime soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely pick it up then. We're off to listen to the Dream Team now.
Yes, or was it a dream already? But we've reviewed it and we've got a Crantifari on our head.
Oh, look, that's not to ask these questions.
Yeah, or a dream within a dream. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.
Life could be a dream. Take care, everyone.
Bye bye.